right, all right, all right. There it is. All right, let's get into my MVP. And this one's going to be kind of a curveball at you because it wasn't about a game last night. It was about Eric Bienemy. That's my MVP. And Eric Bienemy has taken the job for the Washington Commanders to be the offensive coordinator. I almost said Redskins. I swear, I almost said it. I still have to get used to it. And so for the Washington Commanders, he is going to become the offensive coordinator. And it's an interesting reaction that people had. Oh, why is he taking? Oh, he should have stayed in Kansas City. And I got to tell you something. You know, there are times that you have to find out about yourself. And the worst thing in the world is to live with regrets. Oh man, I didn't do this. What if I did this? What if and then you sit back and we all live with regrets. You live with them, I live with them. We all have all kinds of regrets that we live with. And they get piled in our memory, they get piled in our history, and it's things that we wish we would have done, things we wish we would have tried, things we regret we didn't try, opportunities we had, and I'll give you one for me, the .com thing. I had an opportunity to make a lot of money back in the .com craze when it hit, and I missed out on it. And so for me, a lot of what's going on with crypto, I think it's kind of my second chance to take advantage of something that I think is going to be just absolutely, a way of life for us. So that's my regret, .com. And it's like we have many things we could have done, things we could have tried, all that kind of stuff. The easiest thing is to stay in a comfort zone. The easiest thing in life is not to take on challenges. But if you're afraid to take on challenges, then you'll never succeed. And by the way, all success is fed off of failure. Everyone. Okay? The guy that opens up a business, that was probably his third business before it became successful. The man or woman that learned how to ride a bike probably fell off that bike a bunch of times before. You learned how to drive clutch. You probably burned your first clutch in the process of learning how to do it. It doesn't matter what it is in life. You're going to fail before you succeed, right? You're going to be you're going to be an artist, right? Your first painting is going to suck. But it's going to get better and then better and better because you have a skill set that you are sharpening. And so every bit of success, Michael Jordan was cut from his JV team. He was cut at the high school level. At the JV high school level. And one of the things about failure is I think it all depends on the person. How do you look at failure? Do you look at it like, okay, oh, woe is me? Or do you look at it like, okay, what happened here? Why didn't it work out for me? Okay, this is why it didn't work out for me. Okay, so now this is what I've got to do next time. Because you've got to use your failure as a lesson, not a detriment to try to become successful. You can't use a failure and then give up and say, well, nah, it didn't work out. I couldn't do it. So Eric Bienemy could easily stay with Andy Reid, the culture of Kansas City, keep running the offense under his shadow, not really getting any of the credit. No matter how much Andy Reid gives you credit, we're not going to give the credit to Nagy or to Peterson or to any of those people until you go out on your own. Because until then, you're under the incredible umbrella that is Andy Reid. So if you want to grow on your own, then you've got to go out on your own. And you've got to take that chance. And if he fails, then so be it. But he will not live with the regret that he didn't try. And I get it. Daniel Snyder, Washington, terrible organization. I get all of that, man. I tried to put together a radio format with somebody that, pretty much is a absolute deadbeat in this business, has zero talent, and obviously didn't have what it takes to be an owner. But I tried. What am I going to do? It failed. Okay. What am I going to go cry in a corner and forget about it? No, dude. I'll learn from that like I did, and then I move on to the next thing. That's it. Sean and I did a couple things before we did this that it didn't go well. So what are we going to do? Cry in a corner and woe is me and bullshit, dude. We move on to the next challenge. We learn, which, by the way, I did. I learned from some of those, and then I added elements that helped this show take off even more. And it's been, successful enough that we can make a living from it, and we could do it every single day. I mean, life is you're gonna have setbacks, and you got to find a way to overcome. But what you don't want to be is a person living with regrets. What you don't want to be is a person who never tried to be the best that they could be. Because Eric Bienemy might become one hell of a head coach, but he wasn't going to become a head coach in the position he was in under Andy Reid. So now he has to leave and leave that shadow and now develop it on his own in Washington. And so now he's got to, if he goes there and proves that he can develop an offense and a quarterback or maximize an offense, even if the quarterback is not necessarily ideal, but somewhat limited, people will then credit him. And then they'll say, okay, this guy proved that he's a hell of a coach. Let me get him now as a head coach. But you'll never get there if you don't take the chance. And I commend him. He's my MVP because he is what the American dream is all about. You got to go out. You got to kick doors down. Sometimes you're not going to get the best position available. Sometimes you're not going to get the best time slot available. That's just kind of the way this business goes, right? In my business, sometimes you're not going to work with the best companies. Sometimes you're going to work with companies that don't have any money, owners that may not have any money, owners that don't know what the hell they're doing, companies that are, trying to sell the business. So they're trying to cut every corner possible. These are things that you have to live with. Sean knows. He's worked in places where they don't have any resources and they're asking you to go do your job. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, dude, you're not providing us any resources. You got to do it. You got to try to overcome. No, nothing is perfect in life. And I'm sure many of you have taken jobs where the environment wasn't perfect, but you found a way to thrive. You found a way to make it better. You found a way to make yourself better. And then you use it as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. I'm proud of Eric Bienemy. I don't know if he's going to succeed there or not. I'm not sure about that. But I am proud of him that he is willing to take the chance and go on his own and make his own name. Because the easiest and most cowardice thing to do is to stay where you're at in a comfort zone because you don't want to find out if you can do it on your own. So you'd rather live with that regret and just deal with the safety net of being there. And then when Andy Reid retires, they might cast you aside and go find somebody else. Now you go out and kick some ass. If you develop your name to the point where now people look at you, Eric Bienemy, the coach, maybe when Andy Reid steps down, they bring you back. You just never know. But you were never going to get there by staying where you're at. And Eric Bienemy should be the example for all of us in life. If you want something, you need to go after it. Sometimes it's not going to be the best scenario. Sometimes you're not going to be in the best situation, but you've got to find a way to make it the best situation possible because others will be watching. Eric Bienemy is my cuttersedgepro.com MVP of the night.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.